So I'm Isabelle Garreaud. Right now I work as an admin assistant for two different companies. One, the National Deaf Center on Post-Secondary Outcomes, and a nonprofit called AMPL, which stands for Association of Medical Professionals with Hearing Losses. So it's a little bit of a complicated story, but due to underlying medical conditions, I received nerve damage on the right side of my face when I was 4 years old, and on the left side of my face when I was 16. And the nerve damage affects your eyes as well. I have no sensation in my eyes, and that caused the eye disease I have now, neurotrophic keratitis, because I don't have sensation in my eyes, my tear ducts don't work, the cornea is not functioning properly, so it causes the cornea to break down, which affects the vision. I had to wear glasses, and I was not allowed to wear contacts because of the tear ducts were not working. And in the disease, it really is a gradual type thing, like a snowball going down the mountain. It's very slow to build up, and then all of a sudden, it becomes a big problem. But for me, it didn't become a problem until college. It wasn't until my friend was doing my eye makeup, and she's very close to my eye, and she was kind of casually said, like, "Are you aware you have this white cloud on your eye, and your eye is red?" The eye being red is something very normal for me, because it's always dry, so it's like, whatever. But I was like, "What do you mean there's a white cloud in my eye?" So she took a picture, and I was like, "Oh my God, I have no idea. What is that?" I call it a cloud, because it's what it is. It's a white blob on your eye, which is a sign of your cornea deteriorating. So I said it to my mom. She said, "You should go back to see a specialist. You haven't seen a cornea specialist since you were 5 years old. Maybe you should go do that." So I did. I spent 3 hours in that office. And the poor guy was like, "Why did you not come sooner? For starters, you have a scratch on your eye that's probably been there for a month. Because I have no sensation, I didn't know. 2, your cornea is greatly deteriorating at a faster rate." So all of a sudden I was like, wait, okay, this is an actual problem. They ended up having to sew my eyes shut after the appointment because the scratch was infected, and I didn't notice that. And they were really worried about my vision. And then all of a sudden I'm being told, "You will likely go blind. You're going to lose your vision. It's not going to get better. You have the same disease in your left eye, but you are not at that point yet, but it's going to happen in your left eye. Let's try to save your left eye." And they kind of were doing what they could to make my right eye comfortable, which is how I would say it. The eye doctor so much. It was extremely stressful, as someone who was hard of hearing, I realized on being able to see people's lips, seeing speech-to-text words, captions on TV. It was becoming very stressful for me because you were taking away the vision that I needed and I relied on every day. So it was just time of my life. I had people telling me there was nothing they could do. I tried treatments, I tried ointments, special eye drops. Nothing was working, so I said, okay, I need to start accepting my life that I'm going to go blind, and at least in one eye. I can try to preserve the vision in my left eye. But at the time, didn't realize I could. So in March of 2020, I moved back from Chicago to Pennsylvania to be closer to my family. Of course, the first thing I did when I moved back home, I said, "Mom, I need to find an eye doctor. I can't go too long without seeing an eye doctor. I'm used to going every month." My eye doctor in Chicago was able to call the eye doctor I was going to see at University of Pennsylvania and say, "You need to see her. She's not someone you can push to the bottom of the list. She needs to be able to see someone." So he was able to get me an appointment with Dr. Hammersmith. The first thing she said, "Oh, have you ever tried PROSE?" I said, "What is that?" She said, "Oh, it's just special lens." And then, of course, I said, "I can't use contact lenses, but tear ducts don't work." Just the same thing I'm always repeating to people who say get contacts. She said, this is not a contact, it's like a special prosthetic lens that will replace the surface of your eye. I've had patients with neurospecific disease, or I've had other patients that have used PROSE and they've had success in saving the vision. I don't think you should give up. The problem is I had no faith at that point. So I was like, really? And I'm going to stick a contact in my eye and it's going to magically cure my eye? It sounds fake. But she pushed me, encouraged me to go, and I was lucky that she had like a very good plug-in with BostonSight, and she was able to get me an appointment in the height of the pandemic. So I went in October, which was maybe like 2 months after I saw her for the first time. Then I went back in December, and my life changed after that, for better this time. I'm sitting in the eye doctor office, I'm failing the eye test once again, and he was like, just put the lens in. So he put the tester in, which obviously is not powered to my eye lens, it's just not a perfect fit. But he put it in and the vision cleared. And it was just very overwhelming. I was like, oh wait, maybe I shouldn't be so stoic about this. I think this actually has a possibility of helping my eye. I mean, it was just like really instantaneously, just like that. So the way the PROSE lens works is you have to try on a bunch of different lenses until they find the perfect fit. But I spent at this point, 5 years with terrible vision, blurry, out of focus, but my body was used to that. Even though I didn't like the blurry, out of focus world, that's what my eyes were accustomed to. All of a sudden you're putting a lens in, my world clears up, it's not out of focus. I became very dizzy, I was nauseated, I had double vision because my eyes were like, whoa, this is like good vision, we don't want better. Like, they were like trying to reject the lens. It was really weird, so it became very frustrating for me because the first tester lens, I knew it has great potential, and I'm thinking, oh, I'm a failure, this is not working. I don't want the lens, I'm very nauseous and dizzy, I can't walk, I don't want the lens. Like, I literally kept telling them, take it out, this is not working. I said, no, this is normal. Okay, your vision is clearing up. You need to just give it a few minutes. Take your time. I'm very grateful that my trainer here, Heidi, she had a lot of patience for me because I was extremely frustrated. I was like, I can't put it in. I give up. I'm not putting this in. So I spent the whole week putting the lens in, out. And eventually I got the perfect lens at the end of the week. And I was less dizzy, I was less blurry. It started to clear up, and I felt more settled into it. I was like, oh, okay, this is only one lens at the time. So it's like, oh, okay, this is starting to go good, maybe it was a little too harsh in the beginning that I didn't want the lens, but then I was like, ooh, I kind of like this, I can see. And then I did the eye test, and I could see almost to the very bottom of the list. When they first started, I could barely see the beginning. If I went and tell PROSE patients in the beginning, if you have nausea, if you have dizziness, that's normal. You have to push through it. I know it's frustrating, and you have a lot of emotions, because it's a last resort to save your vision. It can be extremely overwhelming, but don't give up. It will clear up. For the first time after I got my left lens, I went to the eye doctor, see Dr. Hammersmith, and she did the eye exam, and I got 20/20 vision. For the first time, I've never ever had 20/20 vision. I was like, I got the piece of paper and said, "Where's your lens?" I was like, yes. She was so happy for me. She gave me a hug. I was like, I've earned this. I have BostonSight to thank that I have 20/20 vision, when 3 years ago they were telling me I was going legally blind. And it's just over the course of 3 years. But I only had one lens, it wasn't 20/20. It was close, but I needed two lenses. So when my left eye started to deteriorate, it wasn't anxiety inducing. I was like, okay, let's call BostonSight, let's just go get another lens. And I will be fine. Dr. Hammersmith called and said, yeah, she needs another lens, her eye is deteriorating. She does not want a cloud on the left eye, so let's get her the lens right away. And I got it. And everything's been going great since then. After the shower, I get to put the lenses in, and it's like blurry world. Put them in, and boom, everything's cleared up. I love that feeling every time I do it. It's such a, I feel like I'm so privileged to be able to say, hey, I can just put these in and I can see. Because I know a lot of people with eye problems do not have that miracle. They're just, some eyes can't be saved. So I'm very grateful that BostonSight was able to save my eyes.